This is very subtle spice. It's like a fourth a teaspoon of cinnamon or something like that, right? But it makes all the difference because you taste that tertiary flavor, right? Note, or you hear it obviously in this case, where if I just go like this, that's one texture. But if I do this, you're like, ooh, that's a little different.
It's really, really fun to play other styles. And in this particular podcast lesson, I'm going to show you 4 easy church hacks that you can use to create an amazing church sound. I use these every single Sunday when I direct music at the church I play for. They're absolutely bedrocks you have to know to create a really, really awesome church sound. My name is Brendan Lowe, creator and founder of Jazz Piano School. Don't forget to go to jazzpianoschool.com to check out all the other free education that's available there. And we do have a membership and even live programs which are starting up again in September. Now, if you're interested in getting more information on the live programs, go to jazzpianoschool.com/group. With that being said, I hope you enjoy this. I am back from getting married. Obviously, you can see this big ring on my finger here. So please bear with the weight discrepancy in my left-hand finger. I'm still getting used to it. I might make some mistakes. But here we go. Let's dive right in.
All right, this is going to be really, really fun and extremely easy. The first hack I'm going to give you is very easy. I'm going to start in the key of D major. This is going to be the key that I Surrender All is going to be in. That's going to be the next podcast when we reharm that tune and add some fun things into it. But for now, I just want to teach you the very first hack here. We're going to take the 1 major triad of the key that we're in, and we're going to take the 2 minor triad of the key that we're in. Now, what that means is the 2 minor triad is essentially the 2nd degree of the scale of whatever key that we're in. So we're in the key of D major. The way that I know that is because the chart is in D, the hymn is in D, and so I'm going to be using the key of D major. So I'm going to take my 1 major triad and my 2nd note from the D major scale, which is an E, and I'm going to build a minor triad up off of that. Right? So now I have 2 triads. Now, here's a great example of why inversions are so important to learn, and a lot of students say, oh, do I have to learn all my inversions? Well, you don't have to, but it allows you to do really cool things like this. So we can start to interchange between our 2 chords, just like this. Now, again, this can be used as a passing movement. Right? Or it can be used as a reharm, which I'm going to show you how to reharm I Surrender All with some of these passing movements with the 2 triads. So I use this so much. I use it for fills. It can be used in a ballad. It can be used in kind of like a more up medium hymn if you're doing more of a like upbeat gospel. Right? It can be in 3. Whatever you want. So essentially the 2 triads in any key are going to be the 1 major triad and the 2 minor triad. And you can kind of switch back and forth between those to create amazing passing motions. And like I said, in the next week's podcast, I'm going to show you how to use this to reharm certain areas of the hymn. Okay? Now the next one is going to be kind of like an ending or a passing movement for intros or endings. And what this is going to be is a super easy walk down, and it can be a walk up as well. So we're going to start on the 4. We're going to go to 1/3. When I say over 3, I just mean the 3rd degree of the scale. So an F sharp here, right? I know the notation in the MIDI is saying G flat, right? But I'm going to think F sharp in the key of D here. Okay, 2 minor, and then back to 1. So again, this is diatonic harmony. If you don't know your diatonic harmony, it's going to be a really good thing to learn and get into. Another reason why diatonic harmony is so great to learn, because if I say a progression and call it out to you like 4, 1/3, 2, 1, you can play the progression with ease. Right? So just a beautiful walking down motion. I'm going to show you how to use that next week. You can go up to. Right? You've probably heard this so much, and it's all over music. To the 5. I'm just adding a little bit thicker triads here. Instead of just a 3-note triad, I'm just doubling the octave. And then again here, you can actually make this a 7 chord if you want, or just a traditional triad here. This will be more churchy. This kind of gives a little gospel jazz feel to it. Triad, 1 major triad over the 3rd in the bass, right? 4. So this is our 4 major triad over the 4, a G major triad. So really, really amazing thing. I use this a lot. Intros, outros, it just happens to kind of come up a lot. It's a really, really great thing to have under your hands. The next two are they're a little bit more advanced than what I've just shown you, okay? But I know they're still very, very easy. So the really, really important motion you have to have kind of in your wheelhouse for sure, playing any sort of hymns, is going to be this motion here. I'm sure you've heard it before, right? Now, there's a lot of different variations on this, so I'm going to show you a lot of different things happening, what you can do. What is happening here is I have the 1 and 5 in my left hand of the key that we're in. We're in the key of D. In my right hand, I have the 3rd. I have the 1 on top, right? This is a gorgeous, gorgeous arrangement of just 1, 5, 3. Very, very solid harmonic resonance here, and the D on top. Now, as we move this, our 2 inner voicings are going to move, but our notes on the outside, the Ds, they stay the same, right? So check it out. I'm going to move up here. So now I'm at 1 and 6, and here I'm on the G. This is all diatonic. We're not moving outside the key at all just yet, right? So here, we can go all diatonic. So what I mean by diatonic is like I'm just thinking within the D major scale. So I'm just moving my right hand index finger from the 3rd up the D major scale. So I'm going 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. My left hand is going 5, 6, 7, 6, 1. Right? So the first variation I showed you essentially was just this. Just moving back and forth is beautiful, right? If we just count off a really slow tune, 3, 4. A little organ would probably come in now. Gorgeous. Now, all moving is from D to essentially G over D. Now, you don't really have to think about the chord symbols or anything like that, as long as you just kind of know your hand movements, like the 3rd and 5th and your 2 index fingers here, right? Moving up to the 4 and the 6 here. That's really all you need. Now, the other variation I showed you was going up. This is really, really beautiful. It's a little bit muddy here in this low end, I have to say. Let me move this up a little bit. This is just the most gorgeous sound in the world here. Let me move it up one more key. This is in the key of G. I love this sound. This voicing right here is just so gorgeous. 1 and 7. It's like a G major 7 chord with 5 and 1. I just did there. Anyway, back to the key of D here. So again, same thing, but now we're going up a step further. We're going to 1 and 7 and 5 and 1. Really, really beautiful. Okay? Now, obviously, you've probably heard this. I shouldn't say obviously, but if you do listen to a lot of gospel or hymnal music, you might have heard something like this. So we're going up to that variation I just showed you, right? Just going up, but now we're going back down. So I have 2 and 1. Remember, the outside notes stay the same, and now in my left hand, it's playing 1 and 4, and then back. Everything moves diatonically for the first few instances that I've showed you around, right? So if you're thinking up, you're just going up diatonically. If you're thinking down, you're just going down the scale diatonically. Okay, so... And again, sometimes you'll hear this. So again, D, both voicings are moving. right? Super, super gorgeous. So, I mean, even working on those and all the keys is going to be extremely important for you. It's going to give you a lot of amazing sounds. I use this in jazz, right? You don't have to stick to jazz all the time. You can explore and integrate and infuse a lot of different styles in your playing at all times. That's the beauty of music, right? So let's talk about one other thing that I want to show you that actually does move outside the key, and then I'll talk about a little hack that can make these things sound a little bit more sparkly. From here, so we've been going up diatonically for now. One of the things you can do outside the key, which is going to sound really, really cool, is instead of going up to the major 7 here, we can go to the dominant 7, So right now I'm on the C sharp, right? This is creating a major 7 sound, but I can move up to the C natural, check it out, and it's going to create a really cool dominant sound. Here I'm going to move up to the C natural, right? How awesome is that? So it's the same exact movement, but now I'm moving up to the C natural on my left hand. Right? Some guitar, organ, sax, vocals would come over top of this. Really cool movement, right? The other diatonic motion I'm going to show you that's outside of this, besides that C natural, is going to be this B flat. Now, this is a really, really cool color in gospel. It's like gets that minor chord happening. You're going to hear it right now. So again, instead of this B natural here on the second movement, and essentially, just to remind you, this is like a G major, a 4 major over 1. So essentially, we're playing like a G major triad over 1. All we're going to do now is change the chord quality of the triad from major to minor. So major to minor. So instead of a B natural, which is the major third of a G major triad, the 4 major triad in the key of D, we're going to change this to a B flat. Right? How gorgeous is that? How gorgeous is that, right? So again, 1, 2, excuse me, I was doing the old one. 1, we're going to go to B flat here. Right, so now we have the minor, the G minor. This is essentially 4 minor over 1. Right, you can just hang out here and let that sizzle, right? This is one of the most beautiful motions in music I've ever heard. You can still go up to the dominant 7, I'd recommend. Right? Back down to the minor, B flat here. And you can alternate if you want. Major, minor. You can pivot down to the minor, up to the 7, back down, right? Endless possibilities, endless possibilities. So again, it'll take a while to get your both hands in sync in your harmonies, because you're moving, right? Those inner voicings are moving in sync to create these beautiful moments. That will definitely take a little bit of practice, right, to get that kind of happening. But once you kind of figure out the equation to this, you can really easily do it in all keys, and it becomes quite simple. Now, the last thing I want to show you here is that you might have seen these little grace notes are really, really fun, and they add so much to your playing. So instead of just going like this and dropping my hands on the notes here, okay, all I'm doing is playing naturally here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb on my right hand, and I'm going to add these little grace notes. This is very subtle spice. It's like a fourth a teaspoon of cinnamon or something like that, right? But it makes all the difference, because you taste that tertiary flavor, right, note, or you hear it, obviously, in this case, where if I just go like this, that's one texture. But if I do this, you're like, ooh, that's a little different. Right? And I can do it in both hands. So essentially, I'm just giving a little bit of the step before. I can do it in one hand if I want, like I just showed you. So I'm going E, F really quickly, like a grace note. I can do it in my left hand with my right hand. Right, so I did it there. Now, obviously, you want to pick and choose your spots, because if I'm doing all grace notes, it's way too much. It's way too much, right? So I try to be very selective. I don't play it too much, and then I might go to single drops. Still single drops. And then maybe one here. Right? Very lightly. And you can toy around with it, right? Really, really lightly. The other thing you might have seen me do here, let me see. Any of these little rolls are really, really cool. So I'm just taking my A and rolling. And again, this requires a lot of fine dexterity within your thumb, index, and... So I have my pinky here, I have my thumb here, and I'm rolling from the E, F into the F sharp. And you don't necessarily have to hit the D every time if you're here. Again, you don't always need the D on top. I could just do this. All you really need is these three notes. So I could go... Right? So really, really cool stuff. Again, I'm not the best gospel player out there. I'm not the best church pianist by any means, but I have been a music director of a church for about 10 years or so. I play lots and lots of hymns. I try to continuously study all my movements and things like that. These are the things that I use consistently and I go back to over and over and over again anytime we're playing any sort of gospel, church blues in general, hymns, all that sort of stuff. So these are really, really great movements. They're very beginner, but anyone can use them. That's why I thought they would be great for you. With that being said, definitely tune back into the podcast next week, because I'm going to be taking the hymn, I Surrender All, and reharming that with a couple of these movements and showing you an extra bonus that I didn't show you here today that I'll know you'll love, and that's going to be in the podcast coming up next week, and it's used for reharms, and it's absolutely beautiful. So definitely check that out. With that being said, I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, if you enjoyed that video lesson, definitely go ahead and subscribe to the Jazz Piano School YouTube channel, because we release a new lesson video just like the one you saw every single week. And we have other content educational series called Tips, Tricks, and Transcriptions that we release every single week as well. And don't forget to go to jazzpianoschool.com to check out all of the other amazing free education available there. And if you're looking to take some next steps on your jazz piano journey, we do have a membership available, many courses, and even live teaching programs that allow you to work with myself and my staff of Jazz Piano School educators. My name is Brendan Lowe, creator and founder of Jazz Piano School. Thank you so much for watching, and happy practicing.